Hello again everyone, welcome back, thanks for visiting once again. So we're on to stage 3 now of the Blackbird SR71a from Revell. Must admit it's turning into a pretty good kit. There are mixed, shall we say, reviews on this so far that I've seen, and I tend not to watch videos from other builders before going into a project, and that way I don't have any preconceived ideas. But what I can do is observe that some people have remarked that it's a more difficult kit to do, but so far the fits seem to have been pretty good. I'll show you that in a minute, but the thing seems to go together fairly well. It seems to be fairly thoughtfully designed, and that's rather good. But today what we're going to do is have a little crack at putting these Quinta Studios 3D decals on board. We'll see how we get along with that. It might go well, it might not, and we'll see what happens. I've got some Loctite super glue gel which I shall use, and I know that you're probably frowning and shaking your heads in disbelief. I've got some of that slow setting super glue coming down at the moment, but I don't think that'll be here for a couple of days. But that's my understanding of these things, that you glue them into place rather than put them down with decal setter. So anyway, there it goes. But just before I go on, just a quick thank you to everybody who's subscribed, everybody who puts their little marker on the on the subscribe box, and thank you very much for doing so. If you haven't done yet, and maybe this is the first time that you're visiting me, you're most welcome. Thank you very much for coming along, and I hope that I do something that interests you sufficiently. I seem to be doing something right, because the amount of time people dwell upon my channel seems to be going up. So I'm going to say thank you for doing that. But let's do a quick recap to start with, and then we can take a look on from there. So we're quite close to having these two sections, top and bottom, put together, and I've addressed the inside of this cockpit section here, as you can see, and that's all pretty much finished and ready to accept these bits and pieces here. But part of the other instruction here would be to do the air intake tunnels and the shock cones, so I wanted to have a quick look at that. So what we'll do is we'll take the right hand shock cone here and bits and pieces, but this is how it turns out. Now there are a lot of painting operations here to do, and you'll need to take some of the paint off where you do paint, otherwise the thing won't glue together properly. And so this forms the tunnel. As you can see, they fit together like that. Let's just put my fourth piece, in fact I won't put that in just yet, because that's the first section to go in. So as you can see, these are at a bit of an angle, so you have to get the right hand one for the or the right one for the right side, and they go on pretty much like this. Now you'll know if you get it wrong, because the whole thing doesn't fit very well, and as you can see there, that's bloody miles away from anywhere, so that's the wrong side, and that's the wrong side as well. So there we go. So that's how that should. So I think that's probably the wrong handed version of this. We'll soon see, because you have, as I said, they have to be handed, and if they're not, then they don't fit properly. But yeah, I think we've got the right one here. So we'll just push these units in here like this, and then you end up with something that looks a little bit like that. Now you do a lot of work on the inside of the shock cone going into the air intake tunnel, and this is the front of where the main compressor blades are, and this is your main compressor blade section here, which keys into there like that. Now I haven't put that in because otherwise if you do, it rocks all over the place, and I might want to store that upright like that so I don't damage this cone. But as you can see, for all the work that you do, you end up with a very small amount of stuff visible, and you can see the light through the other end. But if I put this section in here, you'll see absolutely nothing in there at all. Even if I zero right in here, you just can't see anything. And The reason why I'm doing it this way is I want to make sure I get this this completely accurately fitted, so that this is, put that there, so this is completely central, and we'll look at that in a minute. That's not what I'm going to do today, but as you can see there's quite a lot of bits and pieces here. Now I haven't taken the numbering off there, as you can see. There's really no need, because beyond, let's put that there, beyond about here you just can't see anything, to be honest with you. It's hard enough to see it on the full-sized aircraft from what I can make out, but I used an RAF black on this to begin with, but that came out very, very flat indeed and very dull. So it's worthwhile looking at ways that you can make this a little more patterned. So I ended up using some instrument black from, what are they called, those good people over at Outlaw, this stuff. This is the RAF black. That's very, very flat and very black indeed. So I've used some instrument black here, and that's come out with a bit of a gloss to it, and that looks quite good, I would say. So we'll leave that there for now. Put those bits and pieces over there, and I'll put my bits and bobs there. So I'll just hold that up there like that. As you can see, I just leave them stood. If you, as I say, if you put the fan in, it doesn't fit at all. So that's my glue that I may need in a minute. So we're off to these today. So what you have to do to begin with these is to smooth off all of the detail that you see originally, because you can use a cockpit decal. I've decided not to, because I think these interior decals will look rather good when done. So what I've done here is I've painted this a shade of grey mixed with blue, so which is as near to mouse grey as I can make it. Then varnished it, put a bit of a tiny bit of weather in there, but I sealed these areas against the paint, so that I can glue these sections in, and the glue takes on them. But as you can see, once you've put them in, you really can't see anything. Now, I was going to put some detail into these sections back here, but to be honest with you, the research that I did, I couldn't really find high quality pictures of the cockpit backs. The only thing I could find was on this side here. There's a bunch of wiring and then a box with 4 sections to it, but I really couldn't find out where the wiring went, so it's hard to be accurate with that. So I thought, well, if in doubt, just leave it. Maybe if I make another one of these at some stage, I might do that. But what I reasoned to do is I'm going to start with the RSO's cockpit section first. We'll put a couple of these Quinta Studios decals in. Oh, hello. We'll move things about in an unceremonious fashion like that. So I think what we'll do first is we'll get this out of the way and just hide that over there in my little ditty box. I've got a damp panel here, so hopefully that works. I've never tried using one of these sort of damp pads before, as it were. I know other people do, so we'll see how that all works. But what you have here is a pretty good legend. So I'm going to start with, wherever it is, I'll start with number 20, and as you can see, the star indicates you have to remove the relief part, so that's all done there. So I'll start with number 20, we'll pull that off and put that onto the paper, and we'll then crack on from there. So let's put my poker over there out the way, shall we? It won't roll around all over the place. So let's zero back out again. So we'll just pull these decals out. So this is the first time that I'm doing these, so it's going to be an interesting adventure, shall we say. So I'm going to pull the magnifier in so I can see what I'm doing here. So number 20 is this one here that you can see. See if I can zero in on that a little bit. Let's just zero it so it focuses. That should be alright there. So we'll pull 20 out. We'll just gently cut it. As you can see, I've got my photo etch scissors here, I should have used a set of scissors without a curved blade. That would have made things considerably easier, eh? I've got a large pair of scissors, but I don't want to use them on this because I may inadvertently cut through something. So here we go. We'll just see if we can not jerk the props anyway. Let's put it that way. So we'll just cut that away there. There we are. Right, so first things first, I'm going to put that back in its little bag there and just put those away to one side. And what we'll then do is I'll just drop that on there, and with the blunt side of my tweezers just push that onto the dampness. And what I see to start with immediately is this begins to curl, so we'll just let that do its thing for a minute away from there. And whilst I do that, I shall I'll try and amuse you by talking a little bit. The idea of the shock cone, by the way, was to in the jet engine was to allow. In fact, actually, I won't talk about that just yet. What I will do is just point out something that I found. We'll talk about shock cones in a second, but suffice to say that they moved. I want to just point out this section here, and you'll see this on both sides. This is the right hand side upper wing outer section, so it's outboard of the engine, as you can see. So there's some panels here and so on. If you look very carefully, there are some slight inconsistencies in the surface, but if I'm honest with you, I'm going to leave them in, because if you examine the surface of this aircraft very closely, you will see there are inconsistencies. However, looking at this, there are some quite deep ejector pin marks within the model, but for some bizarre reason, one of them has actually exploded over onto this piece of detail here. Let's zero in and show you that. As you can see, it's extended over here, so you're going to have to address that. Otherwise, when you put these two sections together, what they do is they will interfere, and that will cause you problems with your fit, which should look like this, and of course won't. So I have to finish that up there, but I arrowed it so that it would I would remember it. Now the instructions say that you should be putting these two sections together to begin with the jet pipe, the intake pipe here, and then the rear sections here. So you've got the afterburner can, which is all one arrangement there that fits in amongst other things, and I think sits to about that level there, like that. And you can see that this is a cream colour inside, and then it's darkened with also with some I used pale burnt metal on this, and a mixture with just dusted over with exhaust fumes just to darken it slightly. But as you can see, that it doesn't look too bad. It's fairly consistent. I'm not inclined to paint that with white, so I diluted it with a very little bit of the zinc chromate yellow, so it's yellow green, very tiny bit of that with white paint, and it's come up to be, I think, a pretty good colour. So there we go. But you'll have to do that on both sides, but let's now return. We're dancing around all over the place. Let's now return to this and see if look, that's slid off very nicely. So looks like that system works quite nicely. So we just need something to dry that with. So what we'll do with that is just drop that there like that, and I'll put that away to one side. So I'm going to put them up there out of the way so that I can then move this thing away as I need to, and I can then take a glance at this. So this needs to be the right way round, so I'm just going to magnify my way up here. I can see what on earth's going on. So there's a square section there that I need to check to make certain that it looks the right way round. Doesn't look like it. That looks like it should be that way round by the look of it. Oh, there goes my poker. So let's just draw that off there, off the paper, and then see if we can gently tweeze it into position. In fact, actually what we'll do is we'll just leave that on there for a minute, and we'll put our there we go, put that there and see where that, whether that fits in into the correct position. Still not happy with which way round that is. Oh, I can see where it fits. That's all right. I don't need that as a gauge. There's a line. I've not taken all of that detail off, so there's a little line there that I can see. Let's see if we can zero in on that for you. If you just look very carefully there, you can see a slight line there, so I can glue up to that line. I think that's the way round it ought to go. It looks that way, but it's not actually that clear, you know. I should be annoyed if I got this the wrong bloody way round. That would be really, really jolly irritating, to be honest with you. I'll just zero back out again. I'm going to get my magnifying glass out and see if I can spot this. So, sorry, dwell a pause of 2 marching paces here whilst I have a quick look at this. And I'm just going to go off camera a minute while I just have a quick glance at this. Just shine a bit of light on that. Yeah, so I do believe that that's the right way round for it. So what we can do in that case then is I'll just drop that there for a minute, and we'll put a little bit of this old jollop on here. Put the lid on it because we never know how long before we're going to need it again. I'm just going to give it a bit of a spread out here. Right, and step lively and see if we can. I'm still not happy with that. No, it is that way round. So what we'll do is we'll then drop that onto there like that, and oh, there you go. That's the first one done. Let's just go onto the magnifier and have a quick look up close. Oh, that looks all right. There you go. So that's the first one done. And the next one we want is, what's it, part number 21 now. Let's just zero back out again so that you can see what I'm up to. Part number 21. 19 are so okay, so that's 21 there. Again, we need to look carefully to make certain that we get this the right way round. I think that's the right way up there. So what we shall do is cut that one off. One thing I would do is, because there are lots of little tiny parts here, not cut the numbers off. I cut the number off number 21, so just drop that there a minute. I'm going to drop that onto my little whatnot off camera here and let that do its magic over there. And we'll drop that back in its little bag. And that's extremely impressive, that, I have to say. It does make the job of detailing this stuff terribly, terribly easy. Right, where did I put the... that's the rear one. So what we will do is, with this, is we will super glue this in at a suitable point. And that's what that looks like there. So yeah, okay. So let's have a quick... see, that's done. Becomes slippy and slidey remarkably quickly. So what we'll do is just slide the backing paper off that. Drop that bit of backing paper away there. I don't know what I did with the other bit of backing. It was over there, so I've moved it now. So we'll do the same thing for this one. I'll just establish the forwardmost extent of the decal here is just there, so I can see the demarcation, so that's easy. Yeah, that's looking all right. Just drop a little bit of this jollop on there, and then just give it a bit of a spread round. And then, where's the lid gone? There it is. Lid that up and put that away out there. Get the old tweezers. Take that from the top and then drop that on there. That's that bit done. I must be doing something wrong. That's much too simple. There we are. So there we go. We have a number 13 part to find. Let's have a quick look under here. Oh, there's some little teeny weeny bits here. Number 13. See, number 13 goes in on top of that. Oh my goodness me, look at the size of that. That's absolutely minute. I think that's why one of these little wet baths is probably a bloody good idea, to be perfectly truthful with you. Now we're going to have to be careful gluing this as well. Well, actually we're going to have to be careful cutting the bloody thing off. I can barely even see that. So there are 4 part number 13s here. So what we'll do is we'll take one off there. I mean, quite a lot of these things, you can see them under the magnifier, but I think they're going to be so tiny that they're barely visible. on the, I won't pull that, I'll cut that. That's probably the best thing to do. So I'll just drop that over there a minute and plonk that onto my little wet pad there. That's now I've wetted the top of that, wasn't really what I wanted to do. Find my little plastic bag, drop that into there like that, and then get our little section here and have a quick look, see what we're up to with this little effort here. Yeah, see, very quickly that becomes, that's only taken a few seconds to find its way clear. That's going to be very, very difficult to do. I will get a new pair of tweezers here and see if we can use, that's not going to work there, so let's get a, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take a tiny bit of glue off this and dab it onto the the part that we want to anoint, which is just there. Hopefully that's something we can do. My little teeny weeny tweezers. Much concentration required here, and you do have to get that right because it's brightly coloured, so it's, oh bugger, there we go, it's quite visible. Ah, bugger, I've lost that. That's right, there it is there. So I didn't actually get any glue on that, so what I'm going to do is we'll put that onto my magnifying glass so we can see where it is, or not, as the case may be. Yeah, so this is very, very tiny. So we'll try that again. Have another go at it. Before I do that, just pull off the old glue there. There we go. I want to use enough glue, but not too much. Right. Right, okay, so that's that bit. Yeah, go on, get on there. Right, they're difficult. That's difficult. That's really tough to do that. But we got that down, so we're okay there. Phew. I'm relieved at that. What we'll then do is, I don't think, so we've only got 3 to do there, so that's done. Let's go to the front. We'll go to the front. We'll do the front one now. So with the front one, we have 24, 23 and 18. So 18 is the large section. And we're 30 minutes in, so as you can see there's quite a lot of work to do here. So what we'll do is I'll put this, in fact I won't do that, I'll do maybe this section here. No, I won't do that either, that's going to be complicated, ha ha ha. Yeah, we'll do part number 18, which is one of these, and we'll fetch that out. So part number 18 is the left hand one there, and we can see, because this is shaped, we can see that we can get it in the right way round, and it goes that way round by the look of it. Yes, there we are. So we'll cut that one off, put that on, and then we'll call it a day for this particular little video, because the rest of it, the rest of the putting on of these things is you know, decidedly the same, and I'll let you carry on with your day. Thank you very much once again for coming and visiting Chez Zinner's. I should just say about Paulie's workbench, I mistakenly, and it is a great grievous error, I mistook him for a denizen of America. Now, not that being a denizen of America is a bad thing, it's a very good thing. I have a lot of respect for the people who hail from the fair land of America, but he's a Canadian, and they take it amiss in the very politest way possible if one gets that wrong. So he's a very decent Canadian modelling fellow, and so go and visit him again, as I said, and have a look at his daring do. It's extremely good, definitely worthwhile a visit. So there we have it. So there we go. We'll just have a quick look. As you can see, it's only taken a few seconds, and this is now moving on the on the backing paper. So this, as I say, this wet matte thing, that seems to work really bloody well, to be honest with you. So we'll just be tidy, shall we? So let's have a quick look at this and see where that's supposed to go. That's supposed to go there by all outward appearances. Up to there like that. So we'll do that then, shall we? Put that down there. Spot the old glue, and we can get that one dealt with. That's enough of that. So there we go with this. Drop that onto there. Get the old magnifier on this as well. I think we might have to put one of those silly little yellow things on there too. No, we haven't. There we go. We've got lucky there. So that's that. And as you can see, we'll just have a quick zero in on this. It's quite extraordinary how this stuff fits in, and it really is. It does look, you know, absolutely spot on, quite honestly. I'm going to have the windows open, you know, the canopy's up on this, and I mean it's going to look bloody awesome, to be honest with you. So there we go. So that's Quinta Studios 3D decals, and I'm bound to say that's extremely impressive and really easy. You know, extremely easy to do, and I'll just go in on that a little bit in a detailed way. But they're extraordinary. I think that's really good. They're really excellent. Them. I think there's we've got every reason to feel very confident of a rather good result. There's a hair poking out of there. Not any longer, there isn't. So there we go. 35 minutes in. I think that's a good place to stop. And I'm going to say thank you very much for your time today on those features there. I'll do a video on the air intake tunnels and the nacelles and shock cones and so on and so forth in a short period. So do come back and visit that. On visit for that. Be very happy to see you again. But in the meantime, I'm going to say thanks very much indeed for your time today, and do feel free to visit again. Thank you kindly. Take care for now. Bye bye.